Hello class 12. Today I will be starting one new chapter in grammar, and the chapter is joining and splitting of sentences. Now this is something very new that you are doing in class 12. You may have done it in class 11, but for class 12 it's something very new to you. Now I will tell you in brief that you know that there are three kinds of sentences. What are those kinds? One is simple sentence, okay. Next is complex sentence, third one is compound sentence. Now, simple sentences are very simple. It does not contain any words like which, when, who. It's one straightforward sentence, a sentence consisting of subject, predicate, verb, and maybe object. That's it. For a complex sentence and simple sentence, the sentence is much smaller. For complex sentence, the sentence is much bigger. It contains words like which, when, who, whom. Although all these things are used in order to elaborate the sentence and give us the detailed description, or in complex sentences it's large enough or it is big enough to give you a detailed description of the subject or the sentence. Okay, it will be in a detailing form. For compound sentence, mainly you have and, therefore, conjunctions we generally use in order to use a compound sentence. Now, for joining and splitting, let me tell you what joining is. Joining means you have to add two separate sentences together. Two separate sentences together. Splitting is the sentences are already together, and from that one sentence you have to split the sentence. Now you can have a question, how many splitting sentences can we do? Obviously 2 is the minimum, 4 is the maximum. Splitting of like 4 sentences, it may not come for your examination, but 3 sentences it does come, mainly for complex and compound sentences. For simple sentences, it is more or less 3 sentences, may not be. It's a very rare case to have 3 split sentences in one single simple sentence, because simple sentences are much simpler and short. So only 2 split sentences can be formed. But most of the times you can also find that 2 split sentences are there for the complex sentences as well. So minimum 2 and maximum 4. 4 will not be there. But 3 sentences you can definitely make up with the sentences which are bigger, okay, which are more complicated. Now, first I will start with a simple sentence. I'll give you the examples of both joining and splitting to make the concept more clearer to you. Okay. The first sentence is, the boy, one thing I must inform you here, that all your grammar sentences will be textual sentences. All the sentences will be from the text that you are studying. Okay, so everything is a textual grammar over here. Splitting of sentences. First, simple sentence I will split. The boy turned round, wondering what's next. So this is from Thank You Ma'am. So let me just write down the question first. The boy turned around, wondering what's next. Okay, Now this sentence is a simple sentence, and you can see the sentence is already full and it is not splitted, that is, it's already joined. Now how will I split the sentence? First let me give you the answer and then I will show you how I have split. The boy turned around, full stop. He wondered what's next. Now whenever you will split two sentences or three sentences, each sentence should have a subject and a predicate. Am I clear? Like here, first you see the first sentence, the boy turned around wondering what's next. That is my question. Now here, my subject is the boy and turned around wondering what's next is my predicate. Okay. Now when I will split the sentence, I have to use this boy twice, because if I split two sentences also, in each sentence the subject and the predicate has to be there. Now the subject is already boy, I cannot change the subject and make it girl or something else. The subject has to remain same, so I have to use the subject two times. Now in your junior classes you have almost you know that when it is the boy, when you keep on writing the boy in every sentence, it doesn't sound good, so we use pronoun. So we can use pronoun he. Now the boy turned round. This is one sentence can be formed. The boy being subject, turned around predicate. Next sentence, the boy wondered what's next. But instead of writing the boy, I have written he, because we need to use the pronoun. So he is the subject, wondered what's next is the predicate. Clear? Okay. I'll go to the next sentence. This is the next sentence. Now the question is, I faced the open window making pretense of studying the landscape. So this sentence, as you can see, it's also already joined. Now how will I split the sentence? How will I split the sentence? Again, see here the subject is I. Faced the open window making pretense of studying the landscape. This is entire thing is predicate. So I can now divide the sentence into two halves. I faced the open window. This one, I faced the open window. This can be one sentence. Okay. And then I made the pretense of studying the landscape. If this becomes one sentence, the remaining part is remaining. Now you cannot start it with making. You need to have a subject. The subject is I, so you cannot write I making pretense of studying the landscape. So this will be changed to made. I made the pretense of studying the landscape. I made pretense of studying the landscape. This part, including I, is sentence number 2. Is sentence number 2. I repeat. I faced the open window making pretense of studying the landscape. Here, I face the open window, 1. Next, this part is remaining. You have to also add a subject to this. You cannot change the subject will be I. So, I the sentence cannot be I making pretense of studying the landscape. So this making will be changed to made pretense of studying the landscape. This is sentence number 2. Now I come to the splitting part. The sentence is, the world was shut out again. I returned to my birth. Okay, this sentence is from the I have it, right? From the prose. So, the world was shut out again. This is sentence number 1. And I returned to my birth is sentence number 2. Now, I need to join. My subject needs to be the same. So, here my subject is the world with which it is starting. So, how will I join the sentence? The world being shut out, comma, I returned to my birth. The world being shut out, the world being shut out, comma, I returned to my birth. Okay, so this is how I have joined the sentence without changing the subject. I'll give you one more sentence. This is, I was prepared to sit there for almost any length of time. My intention was just to listen to her talking. All these sentences come under the simple sentence. Now here, as you can see, the sentence, there are two sentences. I was prepared to sit there for almost any length of time. Sentence 1. Sentence 2, my intention was just to listen to her talking. Now here again, I cannot, change my subject. My subject here is I. I was prepared to sit there for almost any length of time. Okay? Then you have to change it, like give a comma. My is already I over here, so you don't have to repeat. Okay, just write just to listen to her, just to listen to her. So your joining sentence will be, I was prepared to sit there for almost any length of time, comma, just to listen to her talking. You don't have to mention intention. Now if you say that ma'am, then we are losing out one word, then you can add over here with the intention to listen to her. Anything with the intention to listen to her, because in one, this were the two sentences. I was prepared to sit for almost any length of time, full stop. My intention. Now obviously you cannot repeat I two times, so I have opted out. It's like taking out common from two sentences. I is common over here, so I've taken out, and you may not mention intention. Instead of that, you can write with the intention to listen to her or just to listen to her, anything. Now I will go to complex sentences. In this video, I will be only doing the sentences of complex sentence. I will be only doing the joining, splitting part first in this video. In the next video, I will be doing the joining part. So first is splitting of the complex sentence. This is the complex sentence. Let me write down the sentence first. Although I had not the faintest idea of the meaning of the Arabic prayers chanted, I was totally convinced that they reached God. I'm reading out the sentences in case you don't understand my handwriting in the board, since I'm writing it big for you to see it properly. So the sentences are, although I had not the faintest idea of the meaning of the Arabic prayers chanted, I was totally convinced that they reached God. Now the sentence, it is taken from APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, how will you split the sentences? See, the Arabic prayers were chanted. Okay, I need to now, since these sentences are complex, so that time it will be little difficult for you to just write it or do it how the way I have done it in simple sentence. Also the procedure will be same. You have to split the sentence in 2 or 3 parts. Okay, so first this is the question. Now I'll write the answer and then I will tell you how I have changed it. The Arabic prayers were chanted. This is one sentence. I had not the faintest idea of the meaning of those prayers. They reached God. I was totally convinced. Now, the first difference that you can find out from simple sentences and the complex sentences, that is, in simple sentences, for each splitting sentence, your subject remained the same. But here, see, I have divided it into 4 parts, since the sentence was much more complicated, and so I could divide. So if you want, you can divide it into 3 sentences, but 4 sentences will be the most applicable one. in each sentence you can see the subject had changed. The Arabic prayers were chanted. Arabic prayers, subject. I had not the faintest idea of the meaning. I, subject, rest, predicate. They reached God. They, subject, reached God, predicate. I was totally convinced. I, subject, was totally convinced is predicate. Now the sentence that I had, although I had not the faintest idea the meaning of Arabic prayers. Okay, first part of the sentence of the question that you had. So from there, I have taken out the Arabic prayers were chanted from the first part of the sentence. Then it said that I had the faintest idea. So I had not the faintest idea. Okay, I had not the faintest idea. That one. Next, it was written that I was totally convinced that they reached God. They reached God. Full stop. I was totally convinced. So this, what I have done, for the sentence was so large. So I mean, it was so big that first part I have split into two sentences. Second part I have split into two sentences. 2 plus 2 I have split it into 4 sentences. I'll explain you one more splitting, and in the next video I will be explaining you the joining sentences, joining of sentences. Sorry. The people whom the Tsar most needed were his counselors. This sentence is from the text, the 3 questions. So here again you can see the now this sentence is not very large, but as it is joined by the word whom in the very beginning of my video, I have told you that whom, which, these words are used to make it more complex, okay, to enlarge the sentence. So it is used. So this is a complex sentence. Now the answer to this question will be, the answer is the Tsar needed some people most. They were his counselors. Now see this one. The question is, the people whom the Tsar most needed were his counselors. I split the sentence into 2. Although it is a complex sentence, but this is short enough, so I was able to split it into 2. The Tsar needed, and so here the main is not only the people, we are talking about the Tsar, so that is the subject. The Tsar needed some people most, okay, as it is written, the Tsar needed some people most, full stop. They were his counselor. Next part, most needed were his counselors, full stop. They were his counselors. So this is how I have joined the sentence. The people whom the Tsar most needed. So I have given, here it is written like first part of the sentence is, the people whom the Tsar most needed. This is the first part. So I have changed, the Tsar needed some people the most, full stop. Next part, needed were his counselors, full stop. I have changed this part of sentence as, they were his counselors. I hope this splitting is clear. So students, in this video I have done joining and splitting of a simple sentence and only splitting of the complex sentence. Now in the next video I will be teaching you how to join the splitted sentences, okay, of the complex sentence, and joining and splitting of the compound sentences. Thank you.